Welcome to However, the show that delivers serious arguments in unserious ways.
First up on the docket, Meta licking its wounds after an historic defeat in court.
We discuss what this landmark case means for the future of social media.
We also debate about where the line is drawn when it comes to human agency versus the social collective good.
And as with most anything we discuss, there's a Black Mirror for that. We couldn't have seen what dangers it would pose 20 years ago when it came about. But now that we do see those dangers, we can draw a more apt comparison to the addictive things that are illegal for a reason. And Jess has a new top pick from the I'm totally not running for president pool.
Look, all I'm saying is if you're looking for a Democrat that an independent like me might actually vote for, if everyone on the left could just direct their attention to Elissa Slotkin, if you could just over here, not over to the left, just over here. If you were with us last week and you got lost in our Mueller report recap, we recap it again, just for you. And this time it is way shorter and surprisingly linear.
So linear. Then there's Merrick Garland. We grade him on what he did with all that evidence.
And while we're certain that the job of attorneys general isn't a walk in the park, we do have some notes.
Just a few teensy little bullet points.
A couple of them. How's that not the very first thing we're doing? Before you even, learn who's directly beneath you's name. You should be...
What's her name? Do this.
Do this.
I'll learn your name later. This is too important. And finally, TMZ's bold new shaming campaign, going after lawmakers.
Yeah, you hear that, Lindsey Graham? Unless that bubble wand can bibbity-boppity-boo you out an approved budget bill, you better get your ass back to Congress, I think.
Might we recommend Delta for your travel needs?
Yes.
All that, plus some hilarious memes, coming up.
Hi, I'm Jess.
And I'm Jack Brett.
We're neurodivergent besties on either side of political center.
Join us as we inexpertly debate and fact-check our way to some kind of agreeance.
Or at least an understandment.
Let's get into it.
Oh, well, hello, friend.
Oh, well, hello yourself, friendo.
So, the Facebook Meta legal loss.
Yay!
Are you so happy?
so happy.
Do you see any issues?
I do not, but I anticipated that you would see some issues. Do you know why?
Why did you anticipate that I might see some issues?
Because we watched Black Mirror together, and in the episode entitled Smithereens, that episode ended up spawning probably the longest conversation we have ever had after a Black Mirror episode. The protagonist, played by Andrew Scott, is a Uber driver who kidnaps an employee from this universe's version of Meta with the intention of holding him hostage to get a conversation with the Zuckerberg of this universe, played by Topher Grace. Basically, the guy blames the Zuckerberg for designing an interface that made it impossible for him to resist checking a notification and thus taking his eyes off the road for long enough to get in an accident that would be fatal for his passenger. Mm-hmm. Your position, if I recall, it is absolutely nobody's fault but the person who decided to pull out his phone and answer the ding of this notification because he absolutely had to choose this moment of going 60 miles an hour down the highway to know who liked his latest photo. And, as I say that, it certainly sounds like a ridiculous case to bring in court. But the ruling against Meta found them liable for designing addictive features on Instagram and YouTube that worsened a young woman's mental health. And her story is a very common one in these modern day of social media. There's record cases of teen depression and suicide, and all roads seem to lead back to social media in terms of patterns across multiple continents around the same time this happening. It's all very well documented in Jonathan Haidt's book, The Anxious Generation. But apparently this finding in some legal circles paves the way for holding these companies accountable for radicalizing their users, for tuning their algorithms in such a way as to maximize outrage and keep you hooked and watching their platform. And if it's determined that these social media companies know that what they are doing is liable to keep you on their platform for the purpose of maximizing your outrage, this finding could pave the way toward massive class action settlements on that front. And that makes me very happy.
In fact, Jack Brett, I've already come across in my socials media feed two class action lawsuit requests or
really?
Outreaches.
Wow, yeah, they're wasting no time with this.
No time.
Oh boy. I mean, we can see why like Zuckerberg and Meta are like fighting this tooth and nail because, I mean, the levee is broken.
Yes.
I think there's a case for thinking of this in terms of what is best rather than what is right. Let me clarify that. The terms right and wrong I don't see as very relevant in a world where it's assumed that we don't have free will, because right and wrong, that's like a moral spectrum, and morality isn't even really a thing if we don't have any choice over what we do. But we can still think of things in terms of like what is most pro-social versus least pro-social.
So where do we draw the line between what is your fault and what is not your fault? And I think it's also the reason we have to live life as though we have free will, because we always tend to end up back at free will. And I feel like we have to live as though we have free will. Otherwise, it's literally no one's fault. Every single thing that happens is literally no one's fault.
I believe there's a case for asserting that these UIs are designed in a predatory way that plays upon the human brain's need for a chemical fix in a way that it can be considered as addictive as a drug, as the sort of drug that is illegal because of how addictive it is, like fentanyl or OxyContin.
Opioid crisis is a thing.
Yes, exactly. I think laws are to protect humans from themselves, in addition to protecting them from other humans. And so I see where you would, your kind of belief about self-determination and free will would conflict with my model on these things. But I think there's a case for a law being a good thing if we think of it in terms of cost-benefit analysis, even if it can also be interpreted as infringing on free speech or freedom of design of an application, if that's a thing.
Let me see if I can steel man your point. You are arguing that Facebook having this power is so addictive that we ought to be treating it like the opioids, your heroin, like the reason we don't have those things allowed in our society is because they would do far more harm to the population of society as a whole than they would to just the one individual doing the using. So treating it like that would immediately put a lot of restrictions on them that you think are quite necessary to avoid the obvious mental health problem that everyone who was born with a cell phone in their hand has faced. You are also saying that, screw morality, just does it harm the most people? And whatever doesn't harm the most people is what we should be doing as a society. Was that the point you were making?
Yes.
Okay. So here are my issues.
Okay.
Who gets to decide what is a greater harm to humanity and what isn't is a scary line to draw. And I fear the more restrictions we put on ourselves that we don't literally have to, the farther we can go as a species in general. You can do a cost-benefit analysis in the short term, but we would need generations of people to understand whether or not the long term would benefit us all in the end. So the less we have to control that, the better. That's pretty much my whole political philosophy in general.
Yeah.
I'm worried about agency. If we say everything is the user's fault, then big platforms get a free pass forever. And if we say the company is responsible, we've basically abolished personal responsibility and made product liability absurdly broad, like super, super broad. So where do we draw the line between personal responsibility and exploitation of well-known human tendencies? But there is something to be said, I will say, ahead of you, that we have so much scientific evidence that this kind of thing is addictive and harmful for children. This new evidence that we have should allow us to reshape our values in society, as a society, in regards to the law, because the law is what shapes the society, right? Literally. People are prone to addiction, so if this thing is going to be that addictive, then the best thing to do would be to regulate this a lot harder. My ultimate argument would be, maybe what we should be doing as a society, we should be preventing it from happening in the first place. If you're listening to the parents, I think the parents are screaming, yeah, it's hurting my kid and I can't get them to stop.
Well, yeah, I mean, one of Jonathan Haidt's main arguments is that we have to do it at the societal level rather than the individual level, because everyone has to participate. Otherwise, there's peer pressure. Erin's parents let her have a phone and take it to school, and she's able to have all this fun.
But I also take Jonathan Haidt's point that perhaps social media should not be available to anyone under the age of X. That makes a lot of sense.
We're in agreement.
So maybe let's not do this to their developing brain. We can't get it together on an individual basis. At some point, you're going to have to force our hand. I'm just worried about whose hands are in power when we're forcing it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Is the thing. And because it can always be someone you don't want in power, that's why I'm very reluctant to give the government as much power as possible. But I think this one, it needs to go up there.
Yeah, I mean, the track record speaks for itself. We're going down a bad path.
Yes.
Like this is a huge problem now that did not exist before social media was a thing. Like there could not be a smokier gun. So I think it's the only responsible thing to take some kind of action to protect the kids.
I think when it comes to morality, we're just disagreeing on what is doing the most damage. I think that's all politics is just humanity disagreeing on what is actually the most damage to society as a whole.
Well, yeah, I think technology moves faster than the law. Like social media, we couldn't have seen what dangers it would pose 20 years ago when it came about. But now that we do see those dangers, we can draw a more apt comparison to the addictive things that have government-imposed restrictions for good reason.
Mm-hmm. What would you say to the argument that natural selection has always been the best way to go and should always be the best way to go?
I mean, that really does bring this conversation to a whole new level, but one that is very important and that I do think about a lot. So I'm here for it. I could see the argument that if we let natural selection take effect and survival of the fittest, I don't know, we've just never had anything close to that in civilized society. Once we became civilized, the question of whether I would survive in a survival of the fittest environment is no longer relevant. What I think you're asking is when it comes to social media addiction, as with any kind of addiction, should we let natural selection just sort those out and perhaps breed a generation of people just less prone to addiction? And I think there's a case to be made for that. I would never make that case in a million years, though.
I agree. But I do think how those people are treated should be up to that specific individual's community rather than necessarily a nationwide federal law. We have to start thinking about how we teach our children how to live in society. Like, they need these skills, and we're not teaching them in school. They need conflict resolution skills. They need emotional handling skills, like personal emotional handling skills. They need help navigating the social scene in general. And the social scene has completely shifted. It's all online. It's the entire world, not just your high school. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
All that to say, Facebook and Meta were held liable. In this particular case, I believe they do owe humanity a debt. It's not just these individual people. It's everyone that you have hurt with these practices. And that is an incalculable amount of people. So maybe the government should sue.
I guess it would just depend on what they plan on doing with that money. I mean, if they're going to tax us less because of what they collect from these companies, then yeah, that is the that would seem like justice to me.
Unless you have more to contribute, though, I am okay to move on.
I am okay to move on.
Because there's so many things.
Let's move on.
Let's move on. So, I have several things. Not all of them are political still, but they can wait if you prefer.
I do not have any more stuff or things. My only thing today was the Meta YouTube verdict. So yeah, let's.
I've got
please.
a lot of things.
Well, let's go down the list and we'll prioritize.
All right, so non-political stuff and things. Well, this is actually just a statement. Joe is now adopting the name Doofy McDipshit whenever he refers to Trump now.
Yes.
Which is delightful.
Yes.
He told me that we're his favorite podcast.
Oh. I love it.
I love it. I did have and record a phone call with my mom about my Chuck Norris Karate Studios experience.
Yes.
I had a question about...
Oh, I thought you were going to ask, do I want to hear it?
Yes, no, I'm going down the list of things I've got that are non-political.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question about dreams in particular. And then another statement just to say, I tried typing without looking, and I'm actually not that bad.
Yay! That's great.
It's going to change everything, Jack.
Absolutely. Oh, man. It'll open up a whole new world of possibilities.
I understand why you had to learn that shit for programming. Good God. Mm-mm.
Oh. I mean, who knows how much longer that'll be a useful skill, with
Indeed.
AI revolution and all. I'll be able to think, and it'll just like blah, 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 right under the prompt.
Indeed. In the political stuff or things region, I want to gush about Elissa Slotkin a little bit and ask you what you know about her.
You saw Bill Maher?
I saw a piece of it, yes.
Okay.
We did the YouTube meta legal loss. I was wondering if you knew about the UN resolution to formally recognize the transatlantic slave trade as the gravest crime against humanity.
Did not know
That's
about
not
that.
come into your locus, not your bubble?
I have not heard of it, no.
Trump is putting his signature on the currency.
That I have heard.
And then also TMZ's asking for photos of federal lawmakers on vacation so they can publicly shame them while the shutdown's going on.
So what I heard was that certain airlines, there's like a standing policy in general that like lawmakers get speedy line privileges. But like given all of the pain the government shutdown has done to the TSA and to like travel in general, airlines are like, you know what? We're not going to do that anymore. We're going to stop this policy that lawmakers get head of line privilege, and we're going to make them wait with all the rest of the grunts because it doesn't make a lick of sense that these TSA people are not getting paid because of you guys, and you are still getting paid and getting front of the line privileges. So
yes,
yeah,
so you know what all that means, right?
What does it mean?
It means we only fly Delta.
Oh, are they're the ones that made that
They're the
decision?
ones doing it. They're the only ones doing it.
Doesn't it work for Southwest?
She does work for Southwest.
Well, never mind.
I
Delta,
don't know.
it's Delta or nothing. They've actually put their
They put their foot down. They're giving away privileges. Is business gonna go to Southwest because of it? Definitely, yeah, for sure. And that is why people like you and me must now support Delta.
What do you mean it could be expected that business is going to go to Southwest because why?
Well, because the senators won't be booking on Delta anymore if they can get a better experience from Southwest.
I see. My hope is that Southwest and other airlines just follow suit.
Oh, yeah, but they're not gonna.
No, that sucks. I thought this was like a effort on behalf of like all the airlines. I thought they were like cahooting on this.
Nope, just Delta.
Okay, well, then praise Delta.
Yes, Delta is our go-to from now. Not that you fly, but it's the principle of the thing.
Yeah. I don't always fly commercially, but when I do, I prefer
fly
Delta. Stay flying, my friends.
Yes, so yes to Delta, but also the gossip column, whatever it is, TMZ, has put out a request for pictures of lawmakers on spring break during the shutdown so that they can publicly shame them for taking a vacation while this issue is not resolved. And I champion that. And I'm excited that it's happening. I think this is why shame is still useful.
Yeah.
And hope that I don't hope they get a lot, because I hope they've all decided this is too important. We must figure it out. But the Senate,
it is.
The Senate did. The House disagreed.
The Senate did what? And the House disagreed? Oh, the Senate,
The Senate
agreed
figured
to...
it out. Yeah, they said they figured out what they wanted to do with it, that the House disagreed.
So maybe we want to shame that. Well, I don't know. I'd have to know the details of why the House rejected it, I guess.
Yeah, fair enough. All that to say, shame the lawmakers.
I'm down with that. I mean, as long as it's due, as long as it is due, and I think that TSA salaries are basically being held hostage for these. Actually, perplexity. So it sounds like the spending bill that the Senate drafted that the House rejected did not include enough funding for ICE and Border Patrol agents. And I just think that holding the TSA salaries hostage for that, I'm not convinced that is necessary.
Especially because ICE is already funded up the wazoo legally. Have we talked about this yet?
I don't think we have. We mentioned, or we asked Perplexity the question of why ICE is being paid but TSA is not. And apparently there's special funding carved out for ICE.
Yes. Okay, we do have to. I have to find that Perplexity and read it to you because it was fucking fascinating.
Perplexity.
Went down a long rabbit hole.
I don't believe it, Jess.
So it goes on for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I said, so the government has contracts with for-profit prisons to detain a certain number of illegal immigrants while they await deportation. Do I have that correct? And it said, you're close, but there are a few important nuances. Yes, the federal government, through ICE, contracts heavily with private for-profit prison companies and local jails to detain immigrants pending immigration proceedings and removal, and many of those contracts do include a guaranteed minimum bed quota. They do not generally say you must detain this many specific immigrants, but rather that ICE will pay for a specific number of beds regardless of use. And that is the issue. You're wasting money by not rounding up more people. You're wasting taxpayer money by not rounding up more people.
Or by just having this mandatory bed count. Like, how about just only charge for the amount of beds that we need for the amount of immigrants that are in need of detaining.
So because taxpayer money is finite and you have to allocate funds to things, I would say that's the Department of Homeland Security's job internally. I don't understand why we made a law specifically to allow for this specific thing. That seems shady as fuck in and of itself. The problem I see is anybody that gets a budget, their whole incentive is to justify that budget, and not just to justify that budget, but to find reasons why it needs to be increased, because they're working for the government. You have to assume the worst of people. That's what they're going to do.
If you do set up a system that incentivizes you to find more people to detain because you will get more money from the government, then yeah, people gonna game that system.
They're going to game it. Why is this a thing? And so for this reason, I am actually totally on board with the TSA being not funded because they're asking for more money for ICE.
Like, as long as it takes to deny this funding for ICE, you're okay with sacrificing the TSA salaries for that for as long as it takes?
Yes, I think it's too important. It's already a huge problem. Don't let it continue. But that sucks for the people who work for the TSA.
Sure does.
It sucks so hard. It sucks so hard.
I mean, not just for them, but for anyone who has to travel during the time when they are quitting en masse.
Mm-hmm. All that to say, I think the Republicans should drop it.
Drop it.
Drop it.
Drop it. Drop it. Drop it.
Just drop it. Because you do not have your fiscally responsible libertarians on board with you, sir. Let's be honest, sirs.
Sirs. Yeah, I mean, nobody who believes in conservative, small c principles.
No, that's
would
too sexist. I shouldn't have put him in a box.
Jessica.
Bad Jessica. But that's a good segue into Elissa Slotkin and my new obsession with Elissa Slotkin.
Ooh, please.
I am hugely digging her vibe. She reads as like a serious, national security minded Democrat.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't sound like some political person just regurgitating information. I love that she has a CIA and Defense Department background. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting here, I'm looking at this woman, and I'm listening to all the things she's saying, and I'm like, excuse me, Democrats. Excuse me, hello, is anyone there?
I thought you might.
She's been here this whole time. The whole time.
The whole time.
God, she was great.
Wait, she's still alive, right?
I don't know. Oh no,
I'm
is she
pretty
our
sure
new Betty White?
No, I'm pretty sure Sally Field is still alive.
Oh no, she's our new Betty White.
Sally Margaret Field is an award-winning American actress.
The distinction between having to use is versus was. Oh God, there's a philosophical lesson in that somewhere. Yeah, so excuse me, Democrats. If you're looking for a candidate a moderate like me might find attractive over someone else with fiscally conscious ideas, with whom's social things I don't agree with, but I'm gonna vote for them anyways if you don't give me something good enough that's fiscally conservative enough.
You're in danger of losing this one.
You should probably stop flirting with Gavin Newsom and start ushering this woman up the charts. Now, I shall disclaimer that by saying I have not done a deep dive with her, and so I do still need to do a deep dive with her. But so far, from what I have seen, yes, please.
Mm-hmm.
The fuck?
I'm so glad that you checked that segment out, because I felt that you would feel that way. And her combat experience, her CIA operational experience, makes her, someone who I believe when it comes to weighing in on national security decisions.
Plus, she's sponsoring crypto enforcement and reform and predictive market reform.
Yeah.
Like, she's sponsoring these bills that are real problems that we're facing right now.
She does seem distinct from many of her geriatric counterparts in her understanding of the threats that actually face us as a society.
Yeah. If everyone on the left could just direct their attention to Elissa Slotkin, if you could just over here, not over to the left, just over here to Elissa Slotkin.
Yeah, she does seem like at some point along the political spectrum that is not so far to the left that I cannot take you seriously.
Yeah.
She seemed very level-headed, and she seems to have some good ideas. She seems to understand the threats that actually face us as a society, and she has my full endorsement. I'm glad that we can be in an agreement on this.
Yes. Yes. I would love for her to be the Democratic candidate I had to choose from. So I'd like to, if you don't mind, get out the action item.
Please.
Action item. Because the action item is simply to double check that 1 week later, I can still Steelman the Robert Mueller thing without having to go in depth on it.
Please, yes.
I am prepared for my final exam.
I am all ears.
The timeline is James Comey opens an investigation into Trump and his associates and their ties to Russia election interference, which includes Michael Flynn and other Trump associates, but Michael Flynn is Trump is especially interested in because he wants him to be his security, whatever. So Trump calls James Comey into his office, and according to James Comey, asks him to let it go, which Comey takes as a threat because it's Trump. James Comey leaves that meeting and immediately ramps up his investigation because that's sus as hell. Trump is pissed because his charms did not work. And he asks his people to find him a legitimate reason to fire James Comey. And the legitimate reason that Attorney General Jeff Sessions and Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein came up with, he's not fit to lead, plus he's investigating Hillary's emails. It's super improper, how rude. So they fire Comey. Regardless of this perfectly logical reason they have fired James Comey, there are some serious obstruction of justice vibes that we are feeling. And so since Jeff Sessions has recused himself already to anything regarding the Russian interference, Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein steps in and appoints Robert Mueller to investigate not only the things Comey was just investigating, to just get that back up and running, but also now there might be a potential obstruction of justice thing we need to look into. And for some reason, Rod Rosenstein is not afraid of being fired by Trump or suffering retaliation. I'm not sure about that, but let's put that to the side for now. Trump, not learning his lesson that these kinds of actions have consequences, asks Don McGahn to fire Robert Mueller. Luckily, Don McGahn has a backbone. He refuses. Robert Mueller does his investigation looking into the charge of criminal conspiracy and obstruction of justice. Two halves.
Yes.
He submits his report and it says that his investigations did not find that the Trump campaign or anyone associated with it conspired or coordinated with Russia to influence the 2016 election. But as for the obstruction of justice goes, due to sitting president reasons, he says he can't say the evidence constitutes obstruction of justice, but he can't not say the evidence constitutes obstruction of justice. Which, in my opinion, is super unethical, but we went through that. That's not what I'm trying to do. Yep. So Robert Mueller cocked that up. Universe rests his soul. Then Barr and Rosenstein read Mueller's report and conclude the evidence is not sufficient to establish an obstruction of justice case. Michael Flynn, in the meantime, admits twice to lying to the FBI about Russian interference, but the DOJ weirdly drops those charges for extremely flimsy reasons. This is a new thing we didn't talk about that I learned in my whole making sure I got it right segment. That's what?
Yeah.
Trump loses the 2020 election, pardons Michael Flynn anyway on his way out. Joe Biden's DOJ gets in there and looks at all the evidence and also concludes that they don't think there's enough to move forward for some reason. So they don't move forward, even though technically the path to prosecution is clear now. Now here we are. Robert Mueller has died. Trump said he is glad he's dead in a tweet to the world. All of humanity. And that is the run of it. Do I have that correct?
So you mentioned that Joe Biden took over and took a look at the case and decided not to pursue it. Do you know that he made that explicit decision, or do you know that it ever came across his desk?
I am under the impression that Joe Biden's DOJ, not Joe Biden himself, Joe Biden's DOJ specifically, did take another look at that evidence, because why would you not prosecute Trump for a crime if you could?
My speculation to that effect would be because of how it would look. I mean, because of how public of a nemesis Joe Biden was to Trump. I mean, regardless whether these investigations were warranted, which I believe they absolutely were, just for them to be opened under Joe Biden's watch, Fox News would have a field day. I mean, they would just absolutely crucify the Biden administration for this witch hunt, and the court of public opinion in the age of social media would create a groundswell that could cause the next World War or Civil War or something.
That's a lot.
I mean, that's the extreme, Glenn Beck example, but go ahead.
All I heard was they knew Trump committed a crime and did nothing.
Yeah.
And that's the end of it for me.
Okay.
So my Occam's Razor for this, what I believe the simplest explanation is that Joe Biden's DOJ took a genuine look at this and decided there's not enough to convict. I have to believe that, or else I have to believe that they chose not to prosecute a criminal. Those are the only two options I have, in my opinion. Would love for you to put some more in front of me.
From a perspective of sunk cost, we've already done this work of investigating all these leads and drummed up all of this evidence that you could easily just turn into an indictment and go after him that way. Yes, I do see your point on that, but I also, again, disclaimer, not a lawyer.
Not a doctor.
Low-hanging fruit is what the Mueller report was in the case of what to pursue. I am a newly taking over attorney general. I have the option to take this low-hanging fruit, the Mueller report. All the evidence is there. I can just hand this to a prosecutor and be go after the former president. And that's easy, and presumably it's a slam dunk in court. Alternatively, this president has just committed much more egregious actions than what are detailed in this report.
Potentially.
Yes, he is allegedly, according to this report, he is accused of much steeper violations of democracy than what are outlined in the Mueller probe. So I may choose to spend the legwork, the open or closed legwork, whatever, as it were, to pursue these leads that could end in Trump being convicted of conspiracy against American voting rights, which is a much steeper charge as I see it than an obstruction of justice.
Potentially. See, I feel like the fact that it is simply just a potential to be, and you didn't commit resources to it until 2 years later.
Yeah, I'm with you on on Merrick Garland's slowness in bringing or in taking the action of appointing a special counsel to investigate.
Immediately investigate.
Exactly. I mean, yeah. If I'm Merrick Garland, I feel like day one that is my first.
How's that
priority.
not the very first thing we're doing? Like before you even like learn who's directly beneath you's name, like. You should be.
What's your name? Do this.
Do this.
I'll learn your name later. This is too important.
Yeah, okay, so another action item then for me. We need to figure out why he saw all this happening and did not make this his top priority immediately if he had a perfectly good enough reason to charge the president with a federal crime that's like jail time. Federal crime, if I'm not mistaken. It's not just a big old fine.
Yeah. I mean, we are not the only ones critical of Merrick Garland right now. So many legal circles say, like, if there is one person solely responsible for these charges never coming before a courtroom, Merrick Garland.
Or some might say, Robert Mueller.
For being ambiguous in his language, for his non-statement statement.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
If the action of attempting to fire the special counsel who is investigating you, if that does not constitute, like, even to the most untrained legal mind in the world, a pretty obvious conflict of interest, then we are just living on two completely different wavelengths. Like,
somebody is at fault here, and we need to find out where. We will eventually figure it out as we continue to revisit this topic. I am certain of it.
yes.
But have I, to your satisfaction, relayed the Mueller story to a way that I know it the way that you know it?
Impressively, I might add.
Huzzah! I did do a little extra reading.
I
For the
do
test.
not doubt it, yes. You get 2 gold stars. Bloop, bloop.
And then am I also to correct and assume that I am the only one that has stuff or things left to talk about?
Yes.
Okie dokie. So I'm going to put this on an action item for you for next week. Look up the UN's resolution to formally recognize the transatlantic slave trade as the gravest crime against humanity. Because there were only 3 states that voted no to recognize formally the transatlantic slave trade as the gravest crime against humanity.
Can I guess one of them?
Please.
The United States of America.
It was. And people are losing their minds. And I have many thoughts on this matter that I would like to discuss with you. So if you wouldn't mind taking that action item up so we can discuss it next week.
Consider that action item taken up so that we can discuss it this week.
And if you'd like a preview, I think they made the right call. The United States. Exactly, see? That is the reaction of people who've only read the headline.
Okay. Yeah, maybe there's a crime against humanity that was bigger than owning. You know what? I'm not going to grandstand. We'll save it for next week.
We'll save it for next week. Exactly. Let me just go through some memes first because we need a break.
Okay.
Memes. We have an update on Iran.
Mm-hmm.
Current tax dollars winning battle against tax dollars from 3 years ago. And then it's just a drawing depiction of the thing we put on the gold disc that we sent out with Voyager. And the meme says, "Humans, please don't send us any more unsolicited nude pics with instructions on how to get to your house. It's creepy. Sincerely, the aliens." I like big butts and I cannot lie. My brother likes small butts and cannot tell the truth. Each of us guards a door. One leads to an anaconda that is sprung, the other to certain death.
I love it.
That's so good.
I love it.
And then, oh yes, and then also I completed the action item of calling my mom to ask her why she even signed me up for Chuck Norris Karate Studios at all.
Uh-huh.
And would you like to hear any of that?
Please.
Okie dokie.
I don't remember why I started going to Chuck Norris Karate Studios. I do remember that I hated it and begged you to let me stop, and you said no, but then you relented after like months of me saying I hated it or something like that.
Yeah, it was a 2-year commitment. 2 years.
Wait, you signed a contract for 2 years, or you told me if you do this, you're going to do it for 2 years?
No, it was a 2-year, you're going to pay for this for 2 years. Yeah, every month. And you begged us that you wanted to do this, and that you were committed to doing 2 years.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Begged us. I promised. We all go.
Okay, wait. So, let me see if I got this right. Chuck Norris Karate Studios says, we will teach your child karate, but you have to sign a 2-year agreement that you'll pay us monthly for 2 years worth of lessons.
Yes.
Shit, I did not know that.
Yes. We tried to tell you that, this is not something you can just start and stop. We're on the hook for 2 years for paying for this.
I didn't remember that you were very reluctant to let me stop. I just didn't remember the fact that we were on the hook.
But you were like 2 months shy of the 2 years, and we finally got tired of hearing.
That's why I got so high in my belt.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I got pictures whenever you.
Oh, my God.
Whenever you went up.
Send me one. I'm going to
Oh,
put
my
it in the
God.
podcast.
Did you see him?
Yep. That's great. Wow. So yeah, that definitely puts things in perspective.
Yeah. I was a little shit. I guess I just really if I did love it, that's great. I do wonder now though. We're gonna have to go look that up when I die. Like, what was the impetus for me wanting to absolutely quit?
Thank you for sharing that. I enjoyed that conversation.
Good. Yeah. I the way my mom kept saying beg.
Like I was sure that at first, that she meant beg to quit, but no, she meant you begged to join this program for 2 years.
Mm-hmm. Yep. My other thing was Trump putting his signature on the currency.
I mean, shocking, not surprising category. He's peeing on more things, including the dollars in our pocket.
It was like you were marking your territory. I mean, you might as well have just come in and peed all around my desk.
Like, I care very much about the government budget, but if I ever become president, the first thing I'm doing is taking his name off of everything he put it on.
I mean, well, just think of how much budget has been spent to put his name on these things. Like in the days where everybody needed a relief check for the COVID pandemic, he delayed that check by several days because he wanted everyone to see his name on that check.
Yeah.
And just like it cost time and money in that case. Like his vanity has cost so many taxpayer dollars by this point. It is like so ridiculous.
And that's honestly what it is, right? Like, it's your vanity. It's your perverse delve into this particular of the deadly sins that troubles us so.
So troubled we are.
We are very troubled by this, and I think there's quite a lot of us who would agree that this is not okay. We need to expect more from our president. Like, I get it. I totally understand the reasons that people voted for him who don't like him. I didn't do that, but I can at least understand those reasons.
Thinking that he could help
with the fiscal responsibility things.
I still don't even get that. Like, just anyone who saw him be president the first time.
Because it's not the president, it's the party. So if the party is focused on it, then at least it might get done. But the party has not focused on anything.
Right. Like, as I see it, the party is completely beholden to him. If he cares about fiscal responsibility one week, who knows if he'll care about it the next week? He's a cult of personality, and like, he just chases the next shiny thing he sees.
This is why it's so important that Congress have more power than the president, and why I think we should divert as much attention away from the executive branch as we can. Like, let's just run through a long list of things the executive branch has acquired in power since the beginning of the Constitution. Let's go through that list and be like, do we really need this? I don't think so. What about this one? Maybe in that case, but is that really worth all of this? Okay, no. Like, we need to, like, just itemized list and start shucking that shit out, because that gives the power directly back to Congress where it should be. And if the power lies with Congress more than anything else, then that wing of the party has the ability to shut this shit down.
I absolutely agree that, like, the executive branch has expanded far too much in authority. Like, the duties and role of the presidency has only grown and grown and grown throughout the years. But, like, believe it or not, legally speaking, Congress is more powerful than the executive branch. But the catch is, the only design flaw in this system,
the one obvious tiny little baby little hiccup.
You have to take action as Congress.
Whoa.
You have to not, live in constant fear for your political career by this man-child who might tweet it into oblivion tomorrow if you cross him.
Yes, look, listen up, Republicans, listen up. I'm the moderate vote, right? I didn't vote for Trump, and I wouldn't vote for Trump, but do one of you want to run? Because if you turn away from this, I might vote for you in a future thing. If
Thomas Massie ran for president right now, hell yeah.
Would you vote for Thomas Massie if he ran?
Hell yeah. I mean, if it's him versus Joe Biden, but like if it's him versus Buttigieg, obviously
Mayor no.
Pete.
Yeah. What about him versus Kamala?
You know what? That would be a hell of a fight. I would have to. I'd have to weigh the pros and cons.
Okay, look at this. Everybody, look at this. You have to understand, this is it. This is the thing. Like, we disagree with Thomas Massie on everything else, but the fact that he is a man of his word is way more valuable. You will get the moderate vote. Can you hear this? Are I getting through to you?
or if he is not sincere, at least he has done the best job convincing us of his sincerity. It's like that old George Burns quote, like, the key to this business is sincerity. If you can fake that, you've got a career.
We need to be making that as difficult as possible to do when you work for the public.
Well, everybody is just made up of humans. So, like, if we are susceptible to this song and dance, what are we going to do about it?
I think that originally started from Trump's name on his currency, on the currency.
I mean, we do tangent on
we do
this
tangent.
Channel.
We do tangent. So many tangents.
Oh, God. One day we'll learn to organize our thoughts and present them in a clear and concise manner.
However, today is not that day.
Nope. Same time next week?
As long as the aliens haven't shown up yet.
Well, duh.
Say thanks, bye.
Bye. Thanks for watching. And hey, if you want to check out the unlimited tangents version of our conversation, link is in the description.
Yes, and if you want to see us bring some steel to a particular topic, let us know in the comments.